Nigerian Senate has laid to rest the controversy surrounding the Electoral Amendment Act 2022 after throwing out President Buhari's request that sought to amend a clause in Section 84, subsection 12. By its action, the National Assembly has placed some of the President's ministers who desire to contest either governorship of their homes, states, or the presidency in a tight corner. Decision of the Senate, a source told our top source, was against an initial gentleman's agreement the President had with the Senate President Ahmed Lawan and other principal officials of the National Assembly elected on the platform of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) before his express approval to the bill. Although the talks surrounding the new amendment seems not to be over yet, many Nigerians breathed a sigh of relief for it, as they believe it has opened a new vista that would revolutionize the country's electoral system and further deepen internal democracy within the political space. There are clear indications that there could be a battle of wits between the executive and the legislative arm of government, both at the national and state levels. This is the first time in 22 years that the Senate would go against agreement reached with a sitting president, with this coming from the Ahmed Lawan-led Senate that was labeled a rubber-stamped. Analysts believe that there is more to it. It will be recalled that President Buhari gave assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill at a brief ceremony held at the Council Chamber of Aso Villa in Abuja, with the Senate President Ahmed Lawan, the Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, and other top government functionaries in attendance on February 25. The bill, among other things, seeks to resolve issues concerning the INEC's introduction of modern technologies into the electoral process, especially accreditation of voters and electronic transmission of results. The President had in his request cited a fundamental defect in Section 84, subsection 12 that he said would lead to the disenfranchisement of political office holders. In a letter to the National Assembly, the President specifically pointed out in a letter to the National Assembly that the amendment was necessary. The clause reads, "No political appointee at any level shall be a voting delegate or be voted for at the convention or congress of any political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for any election." Buhari had argued that the practical application of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Bill 2022 will, if assented to by operation of law, subject 7 political office holders to inhibitions and restrictions referred to under Section 40 and 42 of the 1999 Constitution. It is imperative to note that the only constitutional expectation placed on 7 political office holders that qualify by extension as public officers within the context of the Constitution is resignation, withdrawal, or retirement at least 30 days before the date of the election. It will be stretching things beyond the constitutional limit to import extraneous restrictions into the Constitution on account of the practical application of Section 84, subsection 12 of the bill, where political parties, conventions, and congresses were to hold earlier than 30 days to the election. However, bearing a last-minute twist, Buhari's request was rejected by the upper legislative chamber as senators kicked against it and voted no when put to voice votes by the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan. The constitution of the APC, like other political parties in the country, provides that all political appointees are automatic delegates, a trend that has battered internal party democracy in the last decade, leaving electorates at the mercy of elected public officials, state governors especially. Buhari's move, our top source gathered from a senior party member who doesn't want his name in print, was to prevail on National Assembly to delete the provision under debate due to pressure on him from some prominent members of his cabinet who has ambition to contest in 2023. This day also gathered the National Assembly had adopted Section 84, Subsection 12 as a safety net to guarantee their return in 2023. Hence, the decision to reject the president's request. For them, it was the best strategy to cut down the overbearing influence of state governors who control the majority of their party delegates who are also their appointees. The decision of the Senate came just 2 days after a ruling by a federal high court in Abuja following an expert application filed by the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) before Justice Inyang Ekwo that the Electoral Act has become a valid law and cannot be tampered with. The presiding judge said he agreed with counsel to the PDP Chief James Ogu Onoja San that the proper place to challenge the validity of any existing law is the court of competent jurisdiction. But the minority leader of the Senate, Senator Eyinaya Abaribe, told this day that under the Nigerian Constitution, no other arm of government can stop the National Assembly from carrying out its legislative function. We will debate and do anything that is in front of us in National Assembly, the Abia lawmaker had vowed. Similarly, in an exclusive interview with This Day, the national chairman of Labour Party, Julius Abure, said there was no misgiving in the provisions of the section under contention, noting that it's not in conflict with Section 40 and Section 42 of the Nigerian Constitution as posited by the President. Abure argued that the President at the first instance was wrong to have asked the National Assembly to delete the section that had been signed into law, and therefore advised that the proper venue to decide the validity or otherwise of the provision was the Apex Court. He noted that this said section was intended to cure what he described as brewing civilian dictatorship that could ultimately defeat democratic development in Nigeria. He said those provisions are not in conflict with Section 40 and Section 42 of the Nigerian Constitution as the President posited. Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution is the provision that guarantees freedom of assembly and association, while Section 42 of the Constitution is a provision that protects the citizens against discrimination. If this is juxtaposed with Section 84, Subsection 12 of the Electoral Amendment Act, you agree with me that they are not in conflict. Section 84, Subsection 12 of the Electoral Act provides that political appointees who want to contest election or want to participate in their party's primaries must resign a few months to the election. My viewers at home, this all can take for now, but before we go, we will list Buhari Ministers who may vacate office before June, okay? And the numbers or the names we have here, the first is we have Rotimi Amechi here, then we have the AGF Abubakar Malami, then we also have Chris Ngige, Timi Prisiva, Festus Kiyamo, Festus Keyamo making the list there. Those are the names we have here as Buhari ministers that may vacate office because of the new Electoral Act, and if they fail to vacate office, that means they are not contesting. All right, because of the section 84, yes, which the lawmakers failed to amend, saying no to Buhari's plea of amending that section 84. All right, this is where we draw the cut. Time is never a friend. Ensure you subscribe to our channel, make this report very spread this report across on these platforms. Thanks, God bless, and bye for now. Do join us in the other news, please.